busy, booked, exhausted. Your inbox is screaming at you like a siren. Your calendar is still full. Still calling yourself visible and you're just the best kept secret? Turns out I was right there with you, my friend. Wasn't getting seen, was just the best kept secret. Wasn't getting heard, definitely, kind of getting paid. But here, the magic, my friend. It's a collaboration between Colleen Stubbs and Nicole Borghi. The Voice Lab on the school platform shows you how to use podcast spotlights, summit stages, and simplified, yeah, that's right, simple outreach systems so your visibility actually works. Get seen, get heard, join the free Voice Lab on the school platform, and you're going to get it all. Because if you're working this hard, someone else should know about it. Scan the QR code today.
Good morning, and welcome to another powerful, great, and wonderful, amazing episode of the Voice Lab podcast. How's it going, folks? How are you? What's up? What's new? What's going on? I love it. I'm glad you're here because today we've got some great things that we're going to be chit-chatting about, and we are on episode 37. That's a whole bunch of numbers right there, and we're going to talk about more about okay visibility and what's going on. How do you get out there? What do you need to do? What's going on with you? Okay. All right. So stuff is moving on my paper and I'm trying to read it. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let me get to the right part. Your audience is watching. Nobody is buying today. That's what we're going to talk about. Why attention without strategy does not convert, and the biggest mistakes people make on stages and podcasts, and how to guide your audience into action without sounding real salesy. It's just about conversation. That's what we're all about here. And who am I and why does it matter? I'm an event to scale visibility leader. I'm Nicole Borghi, and I show entrepreneurs how to leverage visibility as a marketing machine. It should always be about marketing. You're always getting out there, you're building relationships, you're talking to people, you're knocking their socks off. But what is the relationship that you're building, and how does that affect you in your conversation moving forward on the camera? So everything, whether it's workshops, done for you summits and events, podcasts, commercials. I just had a great commercial go out with for confronting domestic violence and the SB 553. So how do you get noticed? How do you stop being the best kept secrets? It can be even through commercials, friend. It's all about branding and everything you do. So let me bring up my amazing and wonderful co-host, collaborator, everything else, and wonderful Colleen Stubbs.
Hello, hello. Good morning. How is everybody? I'm so excited to be here with you today. So, who am I? I am Nicole's sidekick. I am also Colleen Stubbs, the founder of Simplified CEO Systems. And what I do is I simplify, go high level for you. So, if you are one of those people who has leads coming in, maybe you have people reaching out to connect with you, and you are not getting that communication flowing just right. I'm your girl. I go in and I simplify your back office using Go High Level and make sure that all of your leads are captured and that they are getting put in the right places so that you can nurture and build those relationships with your prospects and your clients. I am excited to join you here today, and let's talk a little bit about why your audience is watching, but nobody's buying. Could it be a back end problem? Could it be you're not clear in your messaging? Could it be you don't have a strategy? Could it be all these things, Nicole? What do you think?
Well, it could be everything. It's your strategy. What are you using? What are you leveraging? Do you have a strategy? Did you have that should be part of your plan, right? What's part of your business plan should be marketing. That's part of your budget. And part of that strategy is how to get seen and heard. And if you're not out there, if you're not even engaging on social media, what are you doing? You're not doing anything at all. So you start somewhere where you're comfortable and move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, strategy plays such a huge part in all of this. I think a lot of people show up, we scroll, we see, But if you don't have a strategy that's engaging, that draws people in, that's magnetic, and then that also follows up, then you've missed the entire point of the game, right? And so what we really want to do is to help you guys get seen, get heard, and get people into your world. Get them there, get them nurtured, and build those relationships. 2026 is all about you and building your business, and we are here to help you do exactly that. So, talking about that, how are you getting seen? Are you appearing in graphics and captions on social media? Are you getting on videos? Are you getting on podcasts? Maybe you are utilizing summits. Nicole has a summit that is today. I'm actually speaking today. Maybe you're utilizing summits. Are you getting in rooms that feel right? And are you not only in those rooms, but are you leveling up the room? Are you bringing it up with you? Are you inspiring when you are inside the room? Are you articulating who you are, what you do, and to whom? And are you articulating that correctly? So there's a lot going on that it takes to build a business. And let's get into it and start our deep dive.
Right. So I mean, let's even utilize what you were talking about with the stage today. The great thing about that and the use, just using it as a use case, the first 2 hours are a speaker panel today. We want to launch it, get to know the speakers, get to ask questions, get to be part of, have a reason to turn off your camera. You know, there's so much that people come to summits and they're working, they're doing the other thing. Maybe they're not connecting to the speaker. Could be the speaker's not dynamic or they're waiting for the next speaker to come in, right? Maybe they're there supporting a friend. There's a lot going on right there. And we want the support. But if you want the support of your audience, you want to make sure that you're interacting with your audience. This gives them a chance to turn off the camera, get to know the speaker, what the speaker's about, get to have connection, and it's marketing. So if you look at it that way, you know, yes, we have sponsors. Yes, we have wonderful speakers that are going to bring great subjects. And Colleen's got some fantastic topic that she's bringing on the stage today with what she's sharing in her talk. It's leveraging that stage. So she's out there, she's talking about the thing, but she's also going to be sharing some takeaways, and all the speakers are going to be sharing at least 3 takeaways, right? So 1 to 3 takeaways. You're sharing it in 30 minutes. Those takeaways aren't just like, hey, it's wonderful, you're empowered. It's what do you do? How do you do it, right? How do you turn on the camera? Where do you position the camera? That's a takeaway. Hey, maybe you're using a Logitech cam. It's common. Maybe you've got a Yeti mic, right? So what are you using? Those are takeaways. Why do I have this Yeti mic here? And not just because it's a great blue color, but it leaves out the background noise and it picks up my voice no matter where I turn because I've got 2 screens. I'm commenting, I'm doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, adding links, sharing the sponsors. I do that on the stage as well. That's a takeaway. Here's the reason I have it. Here's my link. I want you to all go and have a great call to action. I want you to go. And you can even use your affiliate link from Amazon, make some money, share that with the people in the room, everybody in the Zoom room. Where is it happening, right? You're sharing them that link, you're making money, but you're marketing, you're telling people, but you're giving them something tasty. You're giving them something juicy, a little nugget that they can bite, take away, book a call with you. That's why it's important. They're going to upgrade to VIP. So everything evolves around that, right? Hey, guys, if you go upgrade to VIP, you're going to get this great gift, or you get a call, a one-to-one call with a speaker. Shouldn't be free because your time is money. And if everybody books with you, you got 20 people booking with you, that's a lot of time. Are they really there to buy? If they're there to buy, if they buy the VIP upgrade, then they're there to buy. Maybe you see them in your workshop, your free workshop. You can have a call to action there. Come to my workshop. I want to give you some deeper, juicier nuggets. And that's what Colleen does in her workshops is she's giving those takeaways. She's working it right then and there. That makes it more of a master class. There's some extraordinary information that she's up leveling that she talks about that nobody else is talking about? What are the mistakes people are making? How to fix the problem? Maybe it's a lot simpler, or maybe you need to dive deep and get her to work on your product, work in your go high level. So when you start to think of it, this world, that's really what it is. It's all about what are you doing to bring people back to you? Got to give them something.
And I love Nicole, we always start your summits with a panel. I love that. So a speaker panel, which the speakers get to answer questions, but also there's interaction from the audience. And I think that that's huge. I think so many people miss the opportunity that's actually given them when they get on stage. I don't care if it is on a podcast, on a summit, what that looks like, but the opportunity to engage with your audience. You can be on a podcast and just say, hey, if you feel this way, if this resonates, drop a one in the comment section. Let me know what your biggest challenge is right now in the comment section. And after this podcast, I'm going to come back and address those for you. But just getting your audience to engage. I absolutely, why do I feel like we're going to church when I go to a summit or there's speakers and they're talking at us instead of talking with us, right? Instead of engaging with us and really helping us. I don't want to sit and listen. I'm not here for a lecture. This isn't a lecture summit. It's an interactive summit. And so every time that I participate in a summit, I try to make sure that it's interactive. I reach out to not only the audience, but the other speakers. It's important to stay in the room and support people. But I think that one of the biggest mistakes people really make on stages and podcasts is to not engage. I think that is the strongest, biggest mistake is to not engage. You have this opportunity. I do not care if there are only 7 people in the room. You should be engaging with those 7 people. You should be at least engaging with them there and then also following up with them afterwards. And so, how many people are actually doing that? And then I would say that the second biggest mistake they make is to make it all about them. When we were on Monday Morning Business Foreplay yesterday, and I talked with Jeanette Anderson of the Maturepreneur World, and one of the things that we talked about is that so many speakers, or so many times when we're sharing our business, it's I, and people don't care. One of the things she said is that when you are talking about your business, sharing your business, it's like going in for surgery on your leg. You do not want the surgeon to say, okay, we're going to use number 7 scalpel on this part of your leg. What you want to know is that you can get through the metal detector at the airport afterwards, and you want to know how quickly you're going to get to that end result that you want. What's that feeling after the surgery, after you've healed, when you can run again, right? And so that's the part we need to share, not that I'm doing this in the background. We need to take that part out. And I really feel like just improving those 2 things on stages and in podcasts would be huge. And also, if you're a speaker and you're listening to this, when you engage with your audience, it helps take up the time that you're speaking. It helps to give you content feedback. In the content feedback that you get, you're able to take and implement in your follow-up with the audience. And so whether that's in a newsletter where you're talking about your presentation, or whether it is in the follow-up emails flow that you send to people, just saying, hey, maybe the first email you sent out was like, hey, thank you so much for coming and attending. It was great to see you there. This question came up afterwards. And now that I've had some time to think about it a little bit more, this is my response to that. Or does this question also include you? Did you have this question? So really taking the things that you experience during your presentation with your engagement with the audience and utilizing that in your back end office is also key, because these are tips coming from your audience, questions they have, tips that can help you to build out your business better if you utilize them correctly.
Well, that's 100%. You want engagement, and I think what you're talking about when this is so important when you're talking about engagement, and you have mentioned this before, even in your businesses when you're doing the brick and mortar, and you know that engagement is important. You know that you need to have a connection. You know that you need to drive connection so much that people need that customer support and service, that there is 24/7 customer support, whether it's with you or someone in your team. And that's a little bit for people to swallow is, hey, I might not need that at 2 in the morning. Well, what happens at 2 in the morning the day before the summit? I mean, talking about yourself and, hey, I have this problem and I fixed it. Now I bring it to my clients, and this is bigger into my client. This is the problem that I found my client had. You want established experience and that never take that away. But when it's all about you, you've got a girlfriend, you've got a boyfriend, you've got friends and family that you can make it all about you, right? That go get some groupies, right? It has to be about your clients and your passion. So once you've established that why and your passion, you want to get that message out. For me, I truly believe that the world is a stage. Your stage, whether it's maybe you don't want to be an actor or an actress, that's fine. You don't want to be on the camera all the time. I don't want to be on the camera all the time. I know that as a chairwoman of confronting domestic violence and 20 years in law enforcement and security has taught me there's a time to have privacy. And where does that evolve? It evolves in my self-love and my self-care that I need to step away from the tech. I love tech. I love what it does, so I step away from that. Where does it help my clients? Where does it help people in confronting domestic violence when we're bringing people to the stage for the first time, that they can have their voice, that they can know that that's only one time, it's only one small time that you can practice. It's okay. We're here to support you, just like a summit or a workshop. You're going to come on the stage, tell your story, whether you pre-record it or you have a live audience. Your worth is your voice. It's absolutely that throat chakra. What are you bringing to the stage? Your passionate purpose. Maybe you're telling a story because you healed and you want others to hear that you're there for them. Maybe you have a product or your service that you're selling online on a Shopify account, and you're doing it to support your family because now you're in a place where you can do that. And you either have to come on camera or be able to be the leader of your team and be the voice and have the worth behind the camera. So you know that it's only a small moment that you're on that camera. Maybe you're on the camera several times a day doing one-to-one calls. Those are powerful times, and they're more powerful if you look at it in your self-worth and your self-love, whether you're able to step away. Like you talk all the time, Colleen, where hey, I'm done at 2:30 in the day, and I'm going to go be with my family. I'm going to do me time. That's very important, and it's valuable time. And you know what? You show up better on camera, right? I think it makes such a difference.
Absolutely. And I think that when we're talking about attention without strategy, and how that just doesn't convert, I think that when we're talking about that, when you get on stage at a summit, and I don't know how we just turned to summits today, but that's a great place to start, but when you're on the stage, when you have the attention, even if people have their cameras off, they're listening, they may be working, but you have their attention. And so you should have a strategy built in your presentation, the flow, whatever you want to call it, where you have your 3 bullet points, your 3 takeaways that you have there. Maybe you have your call to action. You may have a short intro with a quote or a question. But those 3 things you want them to take away, but you need to have a strategy. How does that roll into your call to action? And what exactly is your call to action? And then how are you able to guide your audience into action without being salesy? I think one that I heard that was really cute, I think it was Kimberly Crow that did it. I could be wrong, but she said, okay, grab your favorite credit card and go grab this, blah, blah, blah. Well, I have it up, whatever it was. And all I could think about was my pink Discover card. I have a pink Discover card with my name on the front of it. And I just love that one. And I'm like, oh, so it immediately, she had a way of including you and encouraging you, leading you to the sale, and not necessarily being super salesy about it, but like, hey, let's do this. This is what we're going to do. And over, and giving you the time to go and take that action was huge. The same, Nicole, as you've taught before, when you are engaging with your audience during your presentation and you say, okay, if everybody would drop a 1 in the chat if this resonates. I'm going to watch for the ones now. I see Tom Tom put his one in, and Nicole's got her one in. Anybody else feel like this really just resonated? Do you feel like? And then restate what you said, giving them time to act, right? You want to not have it be a rushed process. You want them to enjoy their interactions with you and to also know that you are paying attention to them. And so when you're calling out that you see that they're communicating in the chat or you see that they're engaging, then that also builds those touch points. And we talk about the touch points all the time. You have to have so many touch points with your clients or with your prospects before they become a client. That just increases the touch points. They're interacting and building relationships with you. And that's super important to just have those that ongoing engagement, right?
Yeah, you want ongoing engagement, and that's so great. When you're in a workshop, when you come into this speaker panel today for the authority code, even if you're watching on social media, we welcome you there. You can reply in social media, and then the host, myself, in this case, will go in there and reply to the social media, just like we're doing on the show. I'm going to go in there and say hello, good morning. Like we have Doc Sheena, I hope I said that right, in the chat on LinkedIn saying, "Hey, great topic. Good morning. Hello, how are you?" I can give them a shout out. I can say, "Hey, people are watching." It's engagement. And when you say, "Hey, put a one in the chat," doesn't mean put a one in the chat and then let's move on, right? You don't even take a breath and you move on. Give people a chance if they want to come on camera and reply to something you have. Give people a chance to say, "Hey, what was that? What am I putting a one in the chat for?" They might have forgotten. Maybe they just had their kid run through the room and they didn't hear it and the dog came through or whatever. You know, give them the grace of the time. And what you're showing is how well you do customer service, how much you truly care, right? Nobody knows how much you care and until what is that? Until uh, um oh
No
gosh, I
one
think
cares
it's
how much you know until they know how much you care.
right. So have you met me? Said it backwards. Gotcha. Got the punchline first. So, they really want that. They want to be in that moment, and we give them a chance. Hey, go on to this, and give them a second to respond. Once you get a few responses, you read it. Hey, Jim in the chat or Sarah in the chat just reached out and said, "Hey, they got a one." Yeah, great. They totally support you. Call it out. Put it out there. The host should be replying if they can too. Maybe there's someone in the back. The speakers should stay and reply too. What happens on the stage with the magic and engagement, and this has everything to do with absolutely building your authority and the audience. Why is the audience not buying? It's not necessarily your product. It's your customer service. It's the way you're showing up. It's your energy and it's participation. Unless it's an AI tool, they're not going to just go, boom, I want this tool. I know I want it. I'm going to sit up. I don't care how droll you are because you're a techie from Silicon Valley, right? It- but that kind of Ferris Bueller thing, that really boring part of that. What it is they're showing up for you. They're showing up for, hey, I had a client I was working with. I was working in the back office with them. I was available for them, or I had a customer service support. Part of my team was available for them at 2 in the morning, or hey, they had a problem. This is how we fixed it. I got on a call with them, right? So before the stage, today is our opening day, and I call a few of my speakers. There's a few that haven't really done a summit, but they have no problem talking. They have no problem interviewing and engaging. They're great community support people. They really care. They're very passionate and they have something that they're going to share. And I need to call them and say, "Hey, how's it going? How are you feeling? Let's make sure that you have everything that you need to have." I'm just checking in. And that's part of that. So it gets busy up to that summit, but it's still customer service. I'm serving that client, that speaker on my stage. And the speakers are your best friends. The speakers are your best bet. The speakers on the stage are the ones that are going to buy your high ticket offer. They've seen you, they know you're valuable, they cyber stalked you, they looked you up, they found everything, and they're going to support you on your LinkedIn. They're going to be part of your team and everything else. They're going to come into your school community, right? And something like Voice Lab or Colleen's Go High Level School. They're going to support you. They're going to come back to the workshop. They're going to buy your product. So remember that when you're coming to this stage, nobody's watching because you forgot to support the speakers in the room. Are the other speakers supporting you? They might be just like, I don't know who this is. They're not paying attention. They know better, right? So if you want that, make sure you're the one supporting. And I see you do this well, Colleen, is because you know how well the community support is important, and you know that you're going to go away finding a good referral or maybe another client, right?
Absolutely. And I have to say that, when you are in that situation, it's not going in and looking for a referral, looking for a client. It's going in and looking to serve. If you take a deep look and an honest look at everybody who is successful that you see, maybe the people you follow on social media, the ones that when you're scrolling, you stop for and listen to, every single one of those is there with something to serve. They're there serving with their heart, and that comes first. What it's not all about you and your experience, but it's about the solution that came from that. And it's about being dedicated to the people that you are connecting with enough to share that. There's, of course, a refining process you want to go through to make sure that you're reaching the right people, but really getting on these stages and podcasts with the intent to serve and to let people know that there's a solution to the pain that they're having in that area. And I think that that's huge. I think the networking room has become, on some levels, is a very interesting game of, like, almost like Red Rover, right? Or dodgeball. Just something terrible from way back when, where you're just calling people out and you're not sure why, right? And so that what sets that room apart from the one that moves the needle is the people are serving with heart, and they have clarity. They've refined the filters that bring them the correct people, that connect them with the correct people for their world, but really being a servant and wanting to provide a solution in a heartfelt way really is the thing to do. I've been in networking where I have literally gotten on hundreds of calls, um, just kind of almost shotgun style, and not had them be productive because they weren't the right ones, because the connection wasn't there. So getting on the summit really gives you the opportunity to put your solution out there, to explain how you serve, and to start building those connections so you can get on the calls, so that you can find out by looking in your prospects' businesses and in their lives and seeing how you can best serve them. Or maybe the thing is, maybe they're not best served by you, and maybe that's the opportunity to really serve them well by connecting them with someone who can serve them. And so, either way that you look at it, always comes back to service. I am super excited to be on the panel with the other speakers today. I always like getting to know the speakers on that level. And then, of course, also to do my presentation today. I love what I do, and I love the opportunity to help other entrepreneurs build businesses that work when they don't, so that they can really build a life they love. I think that in midlife, especially, which is where I am, that is key, is to really just enjoy life and build something that you love. And you can do that by building a business you love as well. You just have to remove the overwhelm from it and the things that are frustrating to you, and learn how to simplify, automate, and delegate inside your business so that it can actually work when you're not, right?
100%. Set it and forget it. So you could do the things you love and serve your clients. How does that happen? It's just like the email I sent for today. We got authority code, folks. Just want to remind you, we're going to stop a little bit early today. We've got the authority code. We're going to be live on all the channels we're streaming right now. So we're on Rumble, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn. And then we'll have some collaborators as well streaming live. Come in the Zoom room, you know, interact. We want to see your loving, shining faces, get to know you. There'll be time for the speakers to interact and network with you, answer your questions. It's important. to get that. We want that feedback. We want, you know, it's attention deficit, right? You know, and I say, hey, we're deficient of attention. That's what we need. I think we all need a little more attention, a little more love, but good attention, right? Not everything is good publicity. But all right, guys, we're gonna knock it off today. We'll see you in the room today where it happens. We love you. We'll see.